Alright, let's talk Bangboos. In this video, we're diving into our Bangboo tier list for Zenless Zone Zero version 2.5, updated as of April 2025. If you've ever stared at the banner wondering which Bangboo is actually worth your pulls, you're in the right place. We're breaking down both S-rank and A-rank Bangboos and talking about how they perform not just in combat, but also during exploration. Because, let's be honest, a Bangboo that only looks cute but does nothing useful is not what we're here for. We'll go over which Bangboos really shine in fights, which ones make roaming the city smoother, and most importantly, which S-rank Bangboo is the smartest choice if you're planning to pull from the banner. This isn't just a list for hardcore theory crafters either. We're keeping it chill, practical, and focused on what actually feels good to use in-game. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's figure out which Bangboos deserve a top spot on your team in ZZZ version 2.5. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking Bangboos in Zenless Zone Zero. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
My friends, only 0.1% of viewers subscribe. If you like this type of content, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance for your support.
The Bangboos in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Bangboo, Devil Boo, Bullseye, Cry Boo, Sumo Boo, Lucky Boo, and Overtime Boo. Alright, let's talk about the Bangboos that show up, try their best, and still end up in C tier. These are the Bangboos you don't hate, but you also don't exactly rush to flex in your lineup either. They work, they exist, and sometimes they even surprise you, just not often enough. Devil Boo is that Bangboo who really wants to be mysterious and edgy. It deals ether damage with its abilities, and if your team has at least 2 ether characters, its chain attack builds more anomaly and keeps the coordination state active for longer. Sounds cool on paper, right? The problem is that ether-focused teams are already pretty picky, and Devil Boo rarely feels like the missing puzzle piece. It helps a bit, but it never really steals the spotlight. More like background support with spooky vibes. Bullseye is painfully straightforward. It deals physical damage, and if you have at least one Pierce type character on your team, its chain attack hits harder. That's it. No fancy tricks, no wild utility, just aim and shoot. In Zenless Zone Zero, where Bangboos can bring unique mechanics, Bullseye feels a little too honest for its own good. Reliable, sure, but also very forgettable. Cryboo comes in hot, literally, dealing fire damage with its abilities. If you run at least 2 fire characters, its chain attack builds more anomaly. The issue is that fire teams usually want Bangboos that either amplify damage or bring strong utility, and Cryboo just kind of exists. It's not bad, it's just rarely the best option, like adding extra spice when the dish already tastes fine. Sumo Boo at least has some personality. It deals area of effect physical damage and can interrupt enemies, which already makes it more interesting than most of this tier. If your team includes at least 1 stun character, its active skill inflicts more days on enemies that are already above 50% days. The catch is that this condition can feel awkward in real combat. When it works, it feels great. When it doesn't, Sumo Boo just looks like it tripped mid-charge. Bangboo is the Bangboo equivalent of training wheels. Its active skill deals physical damage, and if your team has at least 1 attack character, its chain attack deals more damage. Simple, clean, and very early game. Once you start unlocking stronger Bangboos with better synergy, Bangboo quietly fades into the background. It does its job early on, and honestly, that's probably its life mission. Lucky Boo deals continuous physical damage with its active skill, and if you have at least 2 physical attribute characters, it builds more anomaly and extends its continuous strike duration by 1 second. That's actually pretty nice, but there's a catch. Lucky Boo is only obtainable through the Friendship Supervision event, meaning you cannot get it from the Bangboo Gacha banner. So unless you were there at the right time, this Bangboo is more legend than reality. Overtime Boo is all about grinding harder, not smarter. Its active skill deals continuous physical damage, and if your team includes at least 1 physical or anomaly character, its additional ability can boost its active skill bonus from 25% all the way up to 100%. That sounds amazing, until you remember it is locked behind the Say It With Flowers event and cannot be obtained from the Bangboo Gacha banner. Strong in theory, niche in practice, and unavailable for most players. Classic C tier energy, and that wraps up the C tier Bangboos of Zenless Zone Zero. Not useless, not amazing, but definitely trying their best out there. The Bangboos in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Borashur, Paper Boo, Explore Boo, Penguin Boo, Avoca Boo, Electro Boo, Magneti Boo, Night Boo, and Excalibur. Some Bangboos don't scream meta, but once you actually play with them, you realize they're doing way more work than you expected. Welcome to B tier, the comfort zone of Zenless Zone Zero Bangboos that quietly carry fights while everyone else is busy chasing S tier hype. Night Boo is basically the polite knight who helps the team and then disappears before anyone thanks him. He applies solid ether damage, and if your team has at least one support character, he grants an extra attack boost to the entire party. Sounds great until you realize every character has to physically pick up the buff, and it only lasts 10 seconds. When everything lines up, Night Boo feels amazing. When it doesn't, he's already gone back to guarding the castle. Boroshu is for players who hate waiting for energy bars to fill. This Bangboo specializes in energy regeneration, and if your team includes at least one support character, the ether bubbles it generates give 60% more energy to off-field characters. That means smoother rotations, faster ultimates, and less standing around wondering why nothing is ready. Not flashy, but incredibly satisfying once you notice how much faster your team flows. Electro Boo is pure constant pressure. Its abilities continuously deal electric damage, and if you run at least 2 electric characters, its Bangboo chain attack boosts anomaly buildup by a massive 120%. This turns Electro Boo into a quiet menace, especially in electric focused teams that want anomaly effects online as fast as possible. It's not dramatic, it's just relentless. Avoca Boo is the Bangboo equivalent of emotional support. It specializes in health point recovery, and if your team has at least one support character, its active skill heals more and gains 3 additional charges. That's a lot of safety packed into one adorable green unit. Perfect for longer fights, tougher content, or players who prefer staying alive over respawning and pretending it was intentional. Paper Boo looks harmless until it absolutely isn't. Its active skill taunts enemies, pulling attention away from your team, and then eventually explodes. If you have at least one defense character on the team, its Bangboo chain attack also generates a shield. It's control, protection, and chaos wrapped into one paper-themed package. And yes, it's way more effective than it has any right to be. Explore Boo is the wildcard of this tier. Its active skill gives a random buff, which can be health point recovery, a shield, or energy regeneration. If your team includes at least one support character, the strength of these random buffs increases. You never know exactly what you're going to get, but that unpredictability can actually be fun, and sometimes clutch, especially in messy fights. Penguin Boo slides into battle, dealing ice damage with its abilities, and if your team has at least 2 ice characters, its Bangboo chain attack boosts anomaly, build up by 120%. Ice teams love consistency, and Penguin Boo delivers exactly that. It may not reinvent your strategy, but it absolutely reinforces it, one frozen enemy at a time. Magneti Boo is pure crowd control joy. Its active skill continuously pulls enemies closer together, making it incredible for close-range melee attackers who want everything grouped up and helpless. If your team has at least one anomaly character, the range of this pulling effect increases, turning Magneti Boo into a walking get over here button. Simple idea, insanely effective execution. That's B tier in Zenless Zone Zero. Bangboos that might not headline your team, but once you use them properly, you really start to wonder how you ever played without them. The Bangboos in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Rocket Boo, Bangvolva, Baddie Boo, Brawler Boo, Buildan, Boolook, and Shrout. Now we're getting into that sweet spot where Bangboos stop feeling like nice extras and start feeling like actual power picks. A tier Bangboos in Zenless Zone Zero are strong, impactful, and sometimes just one small step away from absolute dominance. Rocket Boo does not believe in subtlety. Its active skill unleashes a huge burst of fire area of effect damage, instantly making its presence felt on the battlefield. If your team has at least 2 fire characters, its Bangboo chain attack builds 80% more anomaly, which is no joke. The only thing holding Rocket Boo back is the current enemy lineup. There are not many enemies truly weak to fire right now. Still, when fire works, Rocket Boo absolutely cooks. Bangvolva is all about speed and pressure. It deals high amounts of physical anomaly damage, allowing for very fast build-up, and if your team includes at least 2 physical characters, its Bangboo chain attack boosts anomaly buildup by a full 100%. That's massive value for physical teams. The downside? Sometimes the skill just decides to betray you and fires a paintball instead. When it works, Bangvolva feels incredible. When it doesn't, well, at least it's memorable. Bangboo is a menace in the right hands. It deals solid fire area of effect damage and builds anomaly quickly, but it really shines when you have at least one anomaly character on the team. In that case, its Bangboo chain attack gets a 20% boost, dealing even more fire damage. On top of that, its additional skill becomes even stronger when fighting organic enemies, making Bangboo a situational monster that absolutely bullies the right targets. Brawlerboo feels like controlled chaos. It deals a respectable amount of fire area of effect damage, and if your team has at least one anomaly or attack character, its Bangboo chain attack is boosted by a ridiculous 120%, dealing significantly more fire damage. The real fun part is its active skill, which behaves like a homing missile and can lock onto any enemy on the field. If something exists, Brawlerboo can find it and hit it. Sprout is quietly terrifying. It can deal area of effect physical damage on its own, but it truly unlocks its potential when Ye Xiongguang is on the team, gaining a direct damage increase. Its Bangboo chain attack is where things get wild, summoning a massive sword that slams down for heavy physical damage. Simple concept, huge payoff, and one of the cleanest examples of character-specific synergy done right. That's a tier, Bangboos that don't just support your team, they actively shape how fights play out. Strong, reliable, and sometimes just plain scary when built correctly. The Bangboos in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Butler, Safety, Sharkboo, Emilion, Plugboo, Razonaboo, Officer Kiwi, Red Mockus, Agent Gulliver, Snap, Robin, Balian, Miss Esme, Mercury, and Burkblick. Now we're officially in the This Bangboo Changes Everything territory. S-tier Bangboos in Zenless Zone Zero are not just strong, they define team comps, smooth out rotations, and sometimes feel like an extra agent on the field. Emilion is raw physical power done right. Its active skill hits for massive physical damage, and if your team includes at least 2 Cunning Hares characters, its Bangboo chain attack damage gets even higher. What really makes Emilion special is how well it scales. You can use it comfortably from early game all the way into late game content without ever feeling like it fell off. Simple, brutal, and always effective. Butler earns its S-tier badge by doing something every team loves, feeding energy. Energy regeneration is insanely valuable in combat, and if your team has at least 2 Victoria Housekeeping Company characters, Butler boosts energy regeneration by 20%. Its Bangboo chain attack damage is nothing special, but honestly, that barely matters when your ultimates are coming online faster and more consistently. Safety does exactly what its name doesn't suggest, violence. It deals heavy damage using its drill, and if you have at least 2 Bellabog Heavy Industries characters, its Bangboo chain attack damage increases by 20%. On top of that, if the enemy is burning or shocked, Safety's damage buff ramps up even further. In the right setup, this Bangboo absolutely chews through enemies like construction equipment with anger issues. Sharkboo is the king of Ice Anomaly. Its active skill deals ice damage and inflicts a massive amount of Ice Anomaly buildup. And if your team includes at least 2 ice characters, that anomaly buildup increases by 80%. The only thing holding Sharkboo back is the limited number of ice characters currently in the game. Once the roster expands, this Bangboo is only going to get scarier. Razonaboo is pure battlefield control. It summons an ether black hole that pulls enemies into one tight spot, which is incredible against large groups of smaller enemies, while having at least 2 ether characters increases its anomaly buildup. That requirement is not needed for the black hole itself. Even without perfect synergy, Razonaboo can completely reshape fights by grouping enemies exactly where you want them. Plugboo is an electric anomaly machine. It deals electric damage while rapidly building electric anomaly, and if your team has at least 2 electric characters, it gains an additional 100% anomaly buildup. This makes mono-electric teams the perfect home for Plugboo, where it turns shock effects into a constant, oppressive presence on the battlefield. Robin is surprisingly versatile. Its active skill deals a solid mix of physical and ether damage, can inflict daze, and applies ether anomaly buildup at the same time. If your team includes at least 1 Mockingbird character, Robin unlocks its additional ability, further boosting the effectiveness of its active skill. It's flexible, reliable, and fits smoothly into a wide range of team compositions. Balian is absolute chaos in the best way possible. Its active skill throws a stone ball that bounces between enemies, dealing massive area of effect physical damage with very high damage and daze multipliers. If your team has at least 2 Yunqui Summit characters, its active skill damage increases even further. On top of that, whenever an agent uses their ultimate, Bellion's active skill cooldown drops to just 4 seconds, turning fights into a non-stop barrage. Officer QB thrives on coordination. It deals physical damage, but its true strength unlocks when your team has at least 2 criminal investigation special response team characters. At that point, Officer QB gains follow-up attacks and a Bangboo chain attack damage buff, transforming it from solid to devastating when built around the right squad. Red Mockus brings brute force and surprisingly good control. It deals massive physical damage and uses its active skill to shove the farthest enemy closer to you, which is fantastic for crowd control and positioning. If your team includes at least 2 Sons of Kaladin characters, its active skill damage increases by 36%, making every hit feel painfully heavy. Agent Gulliver is one of the most flexible Bangboos in the game. It deals strong electric damage, its active skill can pierce through enemies, and it works well with Anomaly, Electric, or Section 6 team compositions. To top it off, its additional ability buffs both electric and non-electric attacks, making Agent Gulliver a plug-and-play S-tier option for almost any lineup. Miss Esme is an absolute lifesaver, literally. Her active skill restores both health points and energy, prioritizing energy restoration based on the current active character's health point percentage. She also provides anomaly damage support through her Bangboo chain attack. If your team includes at least 2 Spook Shack members, her healing and energy restoration increase significantly, turning her into one of the strongest sustained Bangboos available. Snap rewards good gameplay. Its active skill grants damage buffs when you trigger dodge counters, quick assists, or assist follow-ups, meaning you get stronger while naturally rotating your team. Snap also deals decent ether damage and builds Anomaly, and if your team has at least 2 Stars of Lyra characters, it immediately heals 4% of your agent's maximum health points. Skill-based, fluid, and incredibly satisfying to use. That's the S tier. Bangboos that don't just support your team, they define how Zenless Zone Zero is played at its highest level. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.